Let's move on to battle number 6. We see the Goldenrod, Gholdengos, and the Sylphic Sylveon. A battle between friends, I shall say, because these two team leaders are good friends with each other. Um, yeah, let's start and introduce our first team leader here. We have the Goldenrod at Gholdengos, led by Mars, playing for Goodwill, currently third place in 8-1. And depending on how this battle goes, why did my quality just? Am I dropping frames? Okay. Depending on how this battle goes, if they win or lose, no, okay, because I got like the red box for my stream quality instead of green. So anyway, depending on how this battle can go, how this battle will go, whether they win or lose depends on if they move up to second place or drop or stay in third place. Because I lost my battle. So if the Goldenrod Gholdengos win, they move up. If they lose, they stay the same. The OU Pokemon of this team, the Torkoal is at 4-7, and the Roaring Moon at 12-5. I think this is the only team to have two Pokemon over 10 plus KOs, with the Slitherwing at 11-4. The Sandy Shocks is at 5-3. The RU Pokemon of this team, we have my cat is meowing at my door. The Porygon 2, just the chonky hecker here, is at 6-1. The Iron Thorns at 0-2, and the Brute Bonnet at 3-1. The NU Pokemon of this team, we have the Hitmonlee at 0-1, the Magmortar at 1-2, and the Vileplume at 7-3. With the PU Pokemon of the Shuckle at 0-0, the Wobbuffet at 1-2, Raticate also is at 0-0, and the Jellicent is at 3-0. This team is such a good team here. The only reason why they are third in compared to me is because they have been getting more feints than knockouts. Because Jellicent is terrifying, but their Pokemon have been getting feinted more than my Pokemon, because this team has gotten what 2 or 3 main events so far. Um, so like battles that go up like this team loses 5 Pokemon, as opposed to a battle where I lose like 2 or 3. It does add up, and it does affect the rankings. But again, we will see how this battle goes against their opponent for the week. We see Susumi leading the Sylphic Sylveon here, playing for the American Cancer Society, currently 13th at 3-6. A team that has started off really good and just unfortunately has been kind of losing a lot lately, but was able to get a win last week and are looking to continue to get these wins here. I think my mom just got home. The OU Pokemon, we have the Hisuian Typhlosion at 7-7, and the Hisuian Samurott at 8-9. Two really strong Pokemon with really good knockout sets too. Just unfortunately have been knocked out plenty of times as well. The UU Pokemon, we have the Tinkaton at 4-4, and the Paldean Tauros Aqua Breed is at 1-0 after battling its twin last week. Of the regular, not really the twin, but its other form, the regular Paldean Tauros. The RU Pokemon, we have the Sylveon, Aurorus, and Pangoro are each at 0-2, which makes me kind of sad because the Sylveon should have more knockouts. It's such a great Pokemon. The NU Pokemon of the Escavalier is at 0-1, the Golurk at 6-7, and the Alolan Executor is at an even 1-1. The PU Pokemon, we have the female Indeedee, way outperforming my own Indeedee at 7-6, while my own is at 0-4. Great. The Meganium and Sunfisk are at 0-2, and the Flareon is at 0-1. Again, a really strong team that just unfortunately hasn't been able to get the wins, but are definitely looking to get the win this week. Let's move on to see the starting lineups of these two teams here. We have the Goldenrod Gholdengos with the three Paradoxmons, I should say. The Slitherwing, Roaring Moon, and the Sandy Shocks. We also see the Vileplume with the Sunsetter of the Torkoal and that chonky as heck Porygon 2. With the Sylphic Sylveon having the namesake Pokemon, that Sylveon there. The Golurk as well, the chonky man who just punches things. We have the Aurorus and the two Hisuian starters, the Samurott and the Typhlosion, with the Paldean Tauros coming back. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to see this battle. We see a lot of red Pokemon versus a lot of blue Pokemon. So let's see how this battle goes. Red versus blue fight. Let's begin. The Goldenrod Gholdengos is going to lead with the Sandy Shocks right away, with the Sylphic Sylveon leading with the Hisuian Samurott. The flip turn immediately being used by the Samurott here to do some pretty good damage against the Sandy Shocks and switch into the Golurk with the Volt Switch, a really good predicted swap, a really good predicted flip turn. The Sandy Shocks forced to switch hard swap into the Torkoal with a dynamic punch connecting and doing some chip damage and getting the confusion to this Torkoal. And the Torkoal using the eject button to get the heck out of there. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that strat used before. The Giga Drain, though, is going to do so much damage to this Golurk here. And the Ice Punch is going to do so much damage back. But the Vileplume is in a much better position here, with the Golurk switching into the Aurora, setting up the Snow. A Giga Drain doing a lot of damage back and getting its HP back as well. The Blizzard, though, connects because of the Snowstorm and outspeeds the Vileplume and is able to take the Vileplume down in just one hit. The Sylphic Sylveon taking a pretty early lead here. The Torkoal coming out to set up the Sun, with the Aurora switching out into the Paldean Tauros, getting the Intimidate out with the Lava Plume. Of course, a resisted hit in the Sun, though, and does get the burn, which is kind of unfortunate for this Tauros. Tauros kind of relying on its attack stat. The Torkoal switching out into the Porygon 2, and the Intimidate does get traced. The Stone Edge is going to do barely anything because of the just massively dropped attack stat of this Tauros here. The switch from the Tauros into the Golurk, with a Curse then being set up by the Porygon 2 to lower its speed, gets its attack and defense boosted up here. And the immediate switch from the Porygon into the Sandy Shocks, with a Dynamic Punch, is able to take down the Sandy Shocks here. Sylphic Sylveon up 2 Pokemon now. The Roaring Moon then shows its face. Really scary Pokemon here. They switch from the Roaring Moon into the Auroras to set up the Snow to remove the Photosynthesis. And the U-turn is not quite able to take down the... what's it called? The Slithering then being switched out. But the U-turn is going to outspeed and take down the Auroras, bringing the Sylphic Sylveon down 1 Pokemon, and getting the Torkoal set back up to bring up the drought. The Hisuian Samurott then comes back, with the Ceaseless Edge connecting, is going to set up a layer of spikes as well from this team, with a Yawn to make the Samurott try to go Sleepy Boy. The Ceaseless Edge misses, unfortunately, with a Rapid Spin able to clear the field of the spikes, and the Samurott is going to fall asleep as well. The switch from the Torkoal into the Slitherwing, though, pretty scary looking matchup here, with the Samurott staying asleep, just taking this little nap here, and the Samurott is going to stay asleep, and the U-turn, unfortunately, is going to take down the Samurott, bringing each team down to just 4 Pokemon each. Roaring Moon then comes back. Golurk as well shows his face again. The Roaring Moon outspeeding, doing the U-turn, and it only brings Golurk down to just 1% HP. Torkoal then able to set up the Sun again, and the Ice Punch is of course going to be a resisted hit. The switch from the Golurk into the Hisuian Typhlosion, with a Lava Plume not doing too much damage because of the fire typing of this Typhlosion here. And the switch from the Torkoal into the Roaring Moon, of course, is going to get Photosynthesis to boost its attack again. The Focus Blast connecting and nearly knocking out the Roaring Moon. The Focus not miss, but the Earthquake is going to hit the Typhlosion back hard and take it down. Sylveon then comes in, and the Earthquake is not going to take down the Sylveon, with the Sylveon able to hit back hard with a Hyper Voice and take down the Roaring Moon. Torkoal then comes back out to set out the Sun, with another Hyper Voice, doing some pretty good damage to this Torkoal here, and the Yawn is going to threaten to put the Sylveon to sleep here. The switch from the Sylveon into the Paldean Tauros. And the Lava Plume is, of course, going to get eaten by the water typing of this Tauros. The switch from the Torkoal into the Slitherwing here, with the Aqua Jet coming through doing just very little damage, unfortunately due to the burn of the Tauros. Another Aqua Jet doing a little bit more chip damage here, but just not quite with a U-turn able to hit the Tauros back. Slitherwing switching out into the Torkoal again. Sylveon then comes back out. The switch from the Sylveon, or from the Torkoal into the Porygon 2 to trace the Pixelate and get the Wish set up from the Sylveon here. The switch from the Sylveon into the Golurk with a Toxic hitting, but the Wish is going to bring it back to over half, so it's not going to get knocked out by the Toxic from this Porygon. The switch from the Porygon into the Torkoal here. Really good play by the Sylphic Sylveon. The Dynamic Punch, of course, is going to connect and take down the Torkoal. Of course, the Golurk is on a timer here. The Slitherwing coming back out. And going for the Earthquake is enough to take down the Golurk. But is the Sylveon going to be enough? I believe in the Sylveon. The Earthquake is doing a lot of damage, but not taking down the Sylveon. The Hyper Voice hitting back hard, leaving just as Porygon against the Sylveon here. The Trace coming from the Porygon 2 to trace the Pixelate. And the Recover is going to bring the Porygon 2 back to full HP with the Hyper Voice doing just a little bit of damage to this Porygon here. And the Protect coming through from the Sylveon to protect it from the Toxic that was coming out. Another Hyper Voice coming through, doing a little bit more chip damage here, with a Curse now being set up from this Porygon 2. Porygon starting to look a little bit scary. Another Protect coming through to protect it from the last resort of the Porygon. That's actually pretty terrifying here. Another Hyper Voice coming through, doing some good damage, with a Toxic now hitting from the Porygon 2. The Protect coming through from the Sylveon, with the Recover bringing the Porygon back to full HP. I think the Sylveon is going to start to fall here, but the Wish comes through, but the last resort is not enough, or the Wish is not enough to save it from the last resort. The Goldenrod Gholdengos winning because of Porygon again. Such a great Pokemon here, but the Sylphic Sylveon, what a fantastic showing, and it makes me absolutely terrified to battle her next week. So terrified to battle you, Susu. Great showing though. Goldenrod Gholdengos, good game. Goldenrod Gholdengos is going to be moving up to second place after this battle.